Number 72 on AFI's 100 Best Movies is 1994's The Shawshank Redemption. Based on the Stephen King novella Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, this movie is one of my personal favorites. It really deserves to be a lot higher on this and pretty much all best of movie lists. Frank Darabont directed this powerful story of hope and resilience. When all hope seems lost, the story follows Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins, a mild-mannered banker who is hit with 2 life sentences in a maximum security prison for the murder of his wife and the man she was cheating on him with. The murders, he insists, he did not commit. The brutal reality of prison life hits him straight away. The movie does not pull its punches in showing the violence, exploitation, and corruption that run rampant in the prison system. Andy tries to keep to himself, but has to open up at some point. He slowly builds a business relationship that turns into a very real friendship with Ellis "Red" Redding, played by Morgan Freeman. Red is the guy on the inside that can get you almost anything. Andy makes other friends during his time in Shawshank, but the Andy-Red relationship is the heart of the movie. Andy's background as a banker gains him favor with some of the hardest guards in the prison. He starts doing their personal finances. He does such a good job, the warden himself uses Andy to catalog both sets of the warden's books, the legit and the crooked. Having that kind of access gives Andy something of a protected status, but also makes him almost indispensable. One of Andy's other friends serves as a strong warning to the rest of the inmates. This is Brooks Hatlin. Brooks spent the majority of his life locked up. When Andy meets him, he's an old man who couldn't and wouldn't hurt anyone. He's rebuilt his life in the confines of the prison and even has a pet bird that he rehabilitated. He ultimately makes parole after the system had taken his entire life away. The world is completely transformed after a lifetime behind bars, and Brooks can't keep up. He takes his own life in the halfway house. His friends back in prison receive a letter and have a hard time coping with Brooks's thoughts on the outside world, and especially his suicide. This is a stark message on institutionalization. During Andy's many years inside, he always sticks to his same story of innocence. He dreams about life outside the walls. He keeps hope alive on the inside without showing his cards on the outside. That is, to anyone except for Red. Andy has a specific dream he shares with Red of escaping to Zeton. He has a specific dream he shares with Red of escaping to a Mexican coastline by the Pacific Ocean.
So hot and ill.
So what?
So hot and ill.
He wants to get a project boat and live his life working at the boat and staring at the vastness of the ocean. Red's skeptical. He even goes as far to warn Andy about having dreams so big could be a problem for him on the inside. Andy refuses to let his spirit be broken. There's a prisoner transfer who Andy and his group of friends take a liking to immediately. This new prisoner brings news that can change the course of Andy's life. This new prisoner knows exactly who killed Andy's wife and her lover. His testimony could begin to reverse Andy's life sentences. Andy gets into a heated argument with the warden. The warden can't comprehend Andy's freedom, as Andy has helped him launder money for so many years. This could ruin the man. The warden brutally punishes Andy, and Andy starts to carry himself as a broken man, letting the warden think that he's won. After this, Andy escapes through a tunnel that he dug in his cell wall that he had been working on for years. He used his banking skills to commit the first real crime of his life. He stole some of the warden's stolen money. He also sent the books he had been cooking on the warden's behalf to the authorities, exposing all of his crimes. The scenes of Andy's escape are trying and symbolic of his life ever since he was wrongly accused. When he finally gets out, there's the famous shot of letting the rains outside the prison's reach for the first time in years cleanse him. Metaphorically, but also literally, since he crawled through the sewer system. Even if you haven't seen this movie, you've probably seen this iconic scene. Andy's escape and exposing the corruption of the prison change everything. The guards are arrested, the warden kills himself, Red's attitude has completely changed, and when he faces the parole board for the countless time, he expects it's going to be another rejection. But this time, he makes parole. After 40 long years, Red has the same issue Brooks did when he gets on the outside. He remembers Brooks's letter and Andy's success. He also remembers that Andy invited him to share in his dream, an invitation Red thought would never be real. This outlook saves him from the same fate Brooks encountered. Red breaks his parole and finds Andy working on an old boat next to the Pacific Ocean down in Mexico. The Shawshank Redemption is a story of an innocent man sentenced to hard time. That's just the surface of the movie. The movie is a display of the power of hope, friendship, and redemption. It's a story about human resilience, how integrity and determination can overcome impossible-seeming circumstances. On its release, critics loved the movie. The story, direction, and performances were all praised. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, of course, stand out as the main leads of the movie, but there really isn't a weak link in the cast. The uplifting narrative that explores hope and redemption resonated with audience and critics alike. This movie can be found on many best-of-movie lists. I know I said it in the beginning, but this really should be higher on this list. Shockingly, when Shawshank was released, it was a financial flop. It grossed only $16 million in its entire theatrical run. It had a budget of over $25 million. When it was time for the home video release, audiences caught up and it became one of the most rented movies of all time. It became a financial success and solidified its place as a classic. Check out this video next for more on the AFI 100 Best Movies list.